Gabriel Jesus is on his way to Arsenal. There is nothing more. Arsenal have completed the signing, according to a number of journalists. A done deal leading to a completed signing is reportedly on the way. The likes of Luis Enrique, of course, former professional football player, says London calling for Gabriel Jesus. Arsenal and Man City have agreed a deal for Gabriel Jesus, a good signing by Arsenal, a very good player. That and a number of other claims have stated that the deal is done, that the deal is imminent or very close. There's a variation to this, but it very much feels like Arsenal Football Club have got this nailed on. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. How good a signing is this for Arsenal? What does it mean in the attacking options for the likes of Chelsea and Tottenham that we're in for this player, that we're interested, that were offered him by the representatives of Gabriel Jesus? We're going to delve into that and take a look at what else Arsenal were looking to do on the Done Deal show this morning. Smash the like button, subscribe to the Football Terrace. Let's go. Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal, done according to a number of outlets, a number of sources, and a number of journalists. This is a deal that Arsenal have been pursuing now since the latter stages of March. It's a deal that the Brazilian press really started to talk about first. They really said Arsenal were in for this player, that it was going to happen, and it was going to get done and dusted and over the line. We're now sitting in the middle of June, a week or so into the transfer window opening, and a deal that's taken a good, two months or so for Arsenal to get completed, which is good timings, really. There's a big misconception in the world of football that deals are done quickly. I never really understand this notion. Oh, Haaland was done quick, or Darwin Núñez was done quick. And then you start to read the information in it, and you find out that the teams were in clubs or management were in talks for 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year before deals were done. Very much like Yuri Tillemans, a 12-month project very much for Arsenal Football Club and Mikel Arteta to get done. So very, very good business in terms of the timings. A vast improvement on Lacazette, becomes the main number 9, in my opinion, at Arsenal, irrespective of Eddie Nketiah being given the number 14 shirt. A prolific goal scorer, one of the best goals per 90-minute ratios in Premier League history. And Jesus is very much asking for one thing, which Arsenal can give him: regular game time. I want to play. And I think maybe for the first time in the Premier League, what we're going to see now is a player given the opportunity to really show his worth, demonstrate exactly how good he is. Because if we're being absolutely honest, we don't really know. We see him in fits and starts. The level of rotation that Pep Guardiola uses, and the fact that we know that, generally speaking, Gabriel Jesus is not the number one choice. Well, we know that because Julian Alvarez and Haaland have been brought into the club. He hasn't been given a prolonged run in the team since Aguero left. And he's never really been able to nail down a position for many, many years at Man City. You now look ahead at what he's going to do at Arsenal, and can he step up? If he starts 30, 31, 32 games this season in the Premier League, can he be consistent? Can he maintain that goals per 90-minute ratio that he's done as a substitute and a bit part player at Man City? That's the big question. Many Gooners think he will. Some Gooners are not overly infused with this deal. But for me, it feels like an absolute, I think it's the absolute right kind of move, age profile and talent ID that Mikel Arteta can bring in at this point. There's another report here. H. Grimes has stated that Gabriel Jesus decided to join Arsenal after re-agreeing personal terms. I think it's a real interesting case. She said it's 50 million 60 million euros, 50 million pounds, all included, which is a little bit different to what the likes of Ben Jacobs and a few others spoke about recently, that Arsenal were quite confident they'd be able to get the deal down to the low 40s. Let's kind of wait and see what the fee comes out at the end of these things. But the re-agreeing is key. There was a big thought, especially back in March and April, that Arsenal were going to make the top four, and they didn't. And it just goes to prove one thing, something that, interestingly, Aguna looked at as one of the most negative on social media. Lee Gunner said that we don't need Champions League necessarily to attract top talent. I personally think Gabriel Jesus is top talent, and Arsenal have got him without Champions League. And circumstance plays a really big part in this. It does. They've got the opening berth in the team, space in the squad to give him what he desires most. Above money, even above playing in the Champions League, a place where he can be a first-team regular, a place where he can be the main man. And I think that's what's absolutely key here to him. Now, what does this mean for the other two teams in the Premier League that were looking at Gabriel Jesus? Firstly, Tottenham. Tottenham have got their eyes on bringing in another attacking player. Richarlison is an option for them. Gabriel Jesus was an option. They didn't heavily pursue that because they've got other targets that they're prioritizing. Equally, they were told, even though they're offered by Gabriel Jesus' management, is that his first choice is still Arsenal at this point because he wants to play first-team regular football. Interestingly, and we'll touch on it later on today, there is reports that Lautaro Martinez is not off the table yet for Tottenham Hotspur. So we're going to delve into that a little bit later. But Spurs were a team that were looking at him, but he was very much a backup option for Tottenham. Chelsea, fairly similar. Chelsea have got their eye on a number of other attacking players, Lautaro Martinez being another one that they've been linked to. But mainly Christopher Nkunku is a player that the links just won't go away. They keep coming back. There's Raheem Sterling, of course, of Manchester City as well, that they're eyeing. There's Rafinha that they're looking at. And I think, again, he wasn't a number one priority there. This is one of the reasons it fed into Gabriel Jesus picking Arsenal. Not only did they show earlier interest in him, but we see you as the main guy. And the reason why I think it was important for Arsenal to get this deal done, I said it on some previous streams, is should an option or two, let's just say Richarlison decides to stay at Everton. I'm not saying he will. Let's say he does. Let's say, and two or three other targets of Spurs and Chelsea decide to stay where they are, or they're not being sold, or they find other clubs before Chelsea are able to finalize a deal. This is normal. This happens. Transfer window is fluid. Suddenly, then, the priority of Chelsea signing him or Tottenham signing Gabriel Jesus changes. Maybe they show more interest. Maybe they make a more substantial offer or an official offer. Maybe suddenly they say, right, we've got rid of Lukaku. We actually want to give the starting berth to you here at Chelsea. That changes things dramatically. So what Arsenal have done, or what it looks like they've done, if we're looking at the reports that the deal is done, the deal is over the line, that the deal is going to complete, what Arsenal have done is take him away. They're taking him off the market. And that's fantastic. The deal was on, i.e. it was active, it was open, it was possible with Tottenham. It was more possible. It was maybe slightly more likely with Chelsea. But Arsenal, as always reported on the Terrace via the brilliant Dean Jones and, of course, Ben Jacobs, the Arsenal were always the front runners in this deal. They were always seen as the club that was going to get him. But, of course, just being the front runner doesn't guarantee anything. You know, Chelsea were the front runners for Lukaku when Manchester United signed him. These things happen. It's fairly normal in football. People expect these things to happen. And sometimes they fall through. They change. Maybe Arsenal, and this is one of the reasons why Gabriel Jesus was looking at other teams. Arsenal are looking at other attackers as well. There's no guarantee that they were going to sign two. As I said, the world of football changes very quickly. But what it looks to be the case now is that Gabriel Jesus is going to be an Arsenal player. Done deal according to a number of outlets, and a tremendous signing he is. What the likes of Tottenham and Chelsea do now, who knows? Who knows what they do? But of course, every time one of their targets, whether it's their priority, whether it's second choice, third choice, fourth choice, when any of these players get snapped up and go to other teams now, the market shrinks for them, which starts to put more pressure upon their deals. Not that Arsenal fans watching are going to care. They've got their number one striker choice over the line, through the door. Of course, now people are going to wait for the likes of David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano to confirm these deals and say, here we go. Probably they'll always get it out before the clubs do. That seems to be the sort of path of the course in this day and age. But a number of journalists have already come out and said they believe this deal is done, that this is dusted, that is over the line. But as ever, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this. How good a signing do you think this could be for Arsenal Football Club? First and foremost, that is what I want to hear from you. The second aspect where I'm very intrigued is the other teams that were looking at him, the Tottenhams and the Chelseas. What will their response be? Whether it's an out-and-out number 9, whether it's inside forwards, whether it's a support striker, a number 10, what areas do you think they now need to address to counteract what Arsenal have done? Because Arsenal were coming for the top 4 berth that both of those clubs hold. And Arsenal in the last 24 hours have made strides in this transfer market. Of course, with Fabio Vieira, now Gabriel Jesus, Yuri Tillemans is reported to maybe be no more than 48 hours or so away from being completed as well. That would be another piece of tremendous business from Arsenal. The talent idea is clear, and it's very much what we've been speaking about. The vast majority of players that Arsenal are looking at are either fairly experienced already or moving in towards or already in those mid-20s. That mid-20 age bracket, so important to give a real solid grown-up spine to this brilliant crop of young players that Mikel Arteta has at his hands. As I've already said, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. Smash that like and that share button for me. Jesus to Arsenal, done deal, according to a number of sources. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless.